Greetings, and thank you for joining us for yet another video update on Bitcoin. In this video, we will just be discussing the shorter time frame that we have available. A look at the daily time frame was something I did in the video that I uploaded earlier today. If you are new to our channel, I would like to invite you to see my prior video on Bitcoin, in which we also discussed the daily timeline about the cryptocurrency. In general, we carry out the activity on a daily basis, once every day. We also discussed the daily period in one of the videos that we have uploaded on Bitcoin. Now that we have everything out of the way, in this video we have obviously observed not a great deal more movement than I have already discussed in the video that came before this one. Despite this, Bitcoin managed to climb a little bit higher. Over the course of my experimentation with the microstructures, I've come to the conclusion that I have a preference for this particular one, my preferred count, and we shall discuss that in more detail. To begin, the current base case is that wave 4, which is this fourth wave here, reached its lowest point on January 23 or D. This may be of interest to anyone who is new to the channel, on account of the fact that we have witnessed a 5-wave pattern here to the upside and the 3-wave pullback. This has been the scenario that I have chosen. So, the concept was to place a support area on the chart, which we did anyway, which was already a trading area, and let's say a trend reversal area. Okay, let's put a support area on the chart, which we added an additional one to the yellow one anyway. As a result of the fact that we observed 5 waves of upward movement from the lows on the 23rd of January, I am able to provide you with a bullish forecast. This is because we've already put that onto the chart. At this point, it is still not entirely obvious that the wave 4 has truly reached its bottom. It is therefore evident that there is still a possibility that this is really a corrective rally which, from a purely technical standpoint, does not really have a limit for itself. There are no real limits for B-wave corrective rallies, but obviously we give it the benefit of the doubt because we've seen 5 waves up, and I typically, if you know, minimum expectations in a pullback are fulfilled and then we see a 5-wave rally. I typically give it the benefit of the doubt. Decision that was also appropriate in this particular instance. Therefore, I always tell you what I'm leaning towards, and at the moment, the major possibility is still rising prices, which has been the appropriate approach to take up until this point, the correct strategy to take with regard to the situation. I've seen this as a bullish cycle for Bitcoin, which was the proper approach because I always prefer to just go with the flow. We've been bullish about Bitcoin for more than a year now, or at least a year, and I've seen this as a bullish cycle for Bitcoin. Not a problem. I did tweet that earlier today on Twitter, but I don't have it open right now. However, it was something that was going around, and I believe it's really significant. It helps me a lot to realize that trading and analyzing what I see is a lot more beneficial than trading or analyzing what I think should happen. In light of this, I constantly make an effort to lean towards what the market is showing me at the moment. So, what exactly do we see? Since the low on January 23, there have been 5 waves of upward movement. Another move to the upside, which appears to be spontaneous, presents itself to us. The count of waves is before us. With the help of the wave count, I'm able to incorporate a support zone into the chart. This zone has been modified, I believe slightly, since the last video due to the fact that the price reached a slightly higher high. In addition, this indicates that we are inclined to be bullish, so long as we continue to maintain our position above the pivot point and the support area. Alright. As a result, there is, without a doubt, a bearish scenario that is short-term, which I also outlined in depth in the video that came before this one. Nevertheless, in order for the bearish scenario to be essentially significant in the short future, if I want to make it the primary scenario, I need to see a break below 46,665 in order to gain relevance, raise probabilities, and make it the primary scenario. I'm not going to lie to you and say that it won't take place or anything like that. Yes. It is possible, but in order to confirm it, there must be a break below the 50% retracement line. Up until that point, it is evident that we are waiting for this 4th wave to finally begin. As for the white count, it brings us to the 4th wave of the 3rd wave, which is more bullish, which should still see another 4 or 5 pattern after it has been completed. An alternative explanation is that it is wave 4 in wave C of the larger B wave, which may result in a collapse. On the other hand, I believe that another 4 or 5 pattern is still missing in both of these cases. That is the option that I would choose. Is it possible for me to rule out the possibility that the swing low from yesterday was merely a shallow circle wave 4? No, I am unable to say for certain that this is not the case. However, I do not consider it to be particularly trustworthy. According to my perspective, we are currently in the third wave of this circle, and it is expected that the fourth wave of this circle will occur, followed by the fifth wave of this circle. That is excellent in every way. And then after that, we arrive at the major decision point, which is the top of the B wave or the top of the third wave, depending on which one it turns out to be. I will reiterate that I am leaning towards the white count as long as my micro support levels are not broken to the downside. Let's have a look at it, shall we? I really hope that was easy to understand. I will make an effort to keep it as straightforward as possible, but I will also include all of the information for anyone who is as passionate about waves as I am. Evidently, the market is showing some respect for this pattern that we have been observing on the chart, which is a trend channel or ascending wedge pattern, also known as an ascending broadening wedge. Therefore, that is being honored at the moment. Just earlier today, I made a post on both Discord and Telegram stating that it is quite probable that this is the fifth wave of circle wave 3. Additionally, the target range for wave 5 is located between 51,707 and 53,914 here. Kind of first resistance is represented by the 38.2 extension. With that being said, I believe that it would be great if it could still expand a bit higher, but it would already have fulfilled the minimum requirements. In addition, this is one of the FIP levels that I encounter when I'm attempting to measure a target for the fifth wave of the circle during the third wave. According to my estimation, it practically takes a break below that trend line, with the purpose of establishing that the fourth circle wave is finally unfolding and that a top of some kind has been established. At that point, we will be able to track. And the question is that circle wave 4, or is it something more bearish? However, as long as we continue to maintain that support area, I continue to take the position that prices should be higher. This is due to the fact that the wave count still permits higher prices. The wave count is theoretically not necessary full, despite the fact that it is pretty much extended since it is prolonged. In spite of this, it is not impossible for it to occur. It is possible that it might go down from here. With this in mind, the support area has been included on the chart. Aside from that, we wouldn't have any need for stop losses or anything else. On the other hand, this indicates that the chances of us obtaining additional extension to the upside are still rather significant, and I'm generally inclined to believe that this is the case. I always make an effort to align my perspective with the probabilities, and I believe that it is more likely that we will receive at least one more high in the supporting area of the circular wave 5. At this point, I believe that the only thing that you need to know is that, okay, there is some resistance at 51,707, and it might even stretch to 53,914 in a circle with 3 now. There should be no pullback that breaks